Because there's one thing, by the way, that whole topic of like the idea of like, you know, what did Humanoid do in Mad Lions? I think we're finally seeing it. Like, I actually finally, in some of these last couple of weeks of Fnatic, feel like I'm starting to see the Mad Lions Humanoid properly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, me too. I mean, he's definitely stepped it up. Razor stepped it up. And I mean, now you can see why, like, even though they dropped that game to Misfits, it really didn't bother me that much. To be honest, I still think that they were the better team overall. Just like one of those things where okay, in the playoffs, like how often are you going to give Neon Jinx? How often are you going to give Schlatt and Lee Sin in the playoffs?
And these are easy drafts to just ban someone if you know they can play it like that. Exactly.
Yeah, I think it's definitely something that you want to just consider in draft until they show that they can do other things. Exactly. And it's not even that Neon might be worse on other champions besides for Jinx. It's actually just that Jinx is such a ridiculous champion. Of course. It's such a broken champion right now that even if he's good at everything, just take him off the thing that could potentially 1v9 the entire game, because other AD carries don't function like that. If you're playing Ezreal, if you're playing Kai'Sa, if you're playing Xayah, if you're playing Aphelios, you're not going to completely take over off one kill, and you can't snowball from behind as well as Jinx. It's why almost every one of these epic comebacks that you see where people are sitting in the base and they're getting a pentakill, whatever. Saw one of these in LPL recently. I experienced one myself when I was a player. They always have Jinx in them because that's the only carry that can be like 3-4 items and one kill could turn into like, oh, you're acing the whole team.
Yes.
Normally, other AD carries, okay, they can play a team fight well, they can get a kill, but they don't have the chase power of Jinx. They don't have like the get excited passive, start running through the team and killing everyone. So for me, I don't really care about the Misfits loss for Fnatic. I feel like they were better most of the game. I think that the pauses were lame as always. I know it's weird to say that for Fnatic because obviously like they were the Fnatic pause
for them. Yeah, of course.
Yeah. But either way, like I think that whenever you're super far ahead and there's a pause, like it kind of stalls out your pacing for the game. So I mean, I think they played that game well. It seems like they have early game plans. Like, Hilly just looks like he can play any champion in the game. He's just going to be a fucking beast. If it's Renata, which he started playing this week, all right, sure. He's just probably one of the best Renatas in LEC. I mean, I think that Fnatic is a strong front runner to win. I don't really see how, with this lineup, with these players playing this well, how they're going to lose a best of 5 to any other teams in LEC. Razor is the person that I think was a question mark for like the first 5 weeks. I feel like he's really gotten better. Like he looks so much more confident. It looks like he's so much more decisive about what he wants to do in the game. And this is what we've been waiting for all split. You can tell a jungler's mentality when you see them fight or when you see them make plays. Like, are they showing up to a lane because they're called there and they don't really know what to do? Or do they like want to fight? Are they looking to dive? Do they have a plan around lanes? And I'm starting to see that intention from Razor that we didn't see earlier the split. So I'm really happy with how Fnatic's looking. I think that they look like they're peaking at the right time. I really think it's their one to lose.
No, I'm with you, because the good thing I think for me about Fnatic is you saw even in the first 4 to 5 games of the split, like they could put themselves in position to lose games, but the flaw of the team due to the players they have and the fact that in the case of their bot lane, they already have played together a year. Realistically, there actually aren't many teams can actually just like catch the throw, even if fucking Fnatic throws to them. And that was when they were bad. Like they've already gotten better and better. I'd say from like the midpoint onwards, they look like they've ramped up as they come to playoffs, and they're looking their absolute best, as you're saying, in these last like week or two. And every player's finally getting his shit together. So yeah, to me, like here's the thing. I still think obviously it'll be fascinating if they play against Rogue in a best of, because we all want to see that matchup. It's probably going to be the final and maybe even an upper bracket match. So I certainly think Rogue has the potential to do it, but I'm sort of with you. Like the difference is the floor in a game for Fnatic is really high, and then the ceiling, now that we've actually seen it, is really legit. So like I feel like if you combine it, they've got everything going for them pretty much.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, definitely. I agree with all that.
I've got a question for the Orcs. I had a point that I made on the show I do with Rich Side Select, but this is a point that I feel has gone mad under the fucking radar, mate. Right? You know when everyone was making that shit on Reddit where they were tracking the fact that going into the last week, Upset had like 8 deaths in the whole split, and then the record ever is like Reckless with I think like 11 or 13 or something. I can't remember what the record was, but he was going basically for like least deaths ever in a split. Well, here's what I thought of the other day. This is actually a mad point, because it shows you how inherently in the LCS, the LEC, there is actually a bias towards Reckless. Here's how you know. Because the joke is, Upset just did an even better Reckless impression than Reckless can do. He basically out-Recklessed Reckless, and what's the conclusion? When Reckless does that, Dom, they give him the MVP. When Upset does it, Everyone's trying to give Hylissang the MVP. Now, listen, I don't have a problem with that in the sense that I actually did think there was times where if you were going to give it to a Fnatic player a couple of years ago, it should have been Hylissang instead of Reckless. I actually thought overall, Hylissang was like, the engine to the team and was the person who essentially opened the fucking map for them half the time. But where's this consistency? Like, everyone in some ways is almost like downgrading what Upset's done. Like, listen, I get it, because I am the originator of not liking that style of AD carry. As in, it's just not sexy, it's just boring, innit? It's just people playing safe, and also, spoiler, just as with Reckless, it already works when you have amazing players in every other role, by the way. Otherwise, you have to, at some point in time, get some fucking action going. So, I don't have any problem at all with Upset playing that way. I'm just saying, it's a bit of a fucking blind spot that people are sort of almost, trashing on him for it, but, essentially, in his team, I think he's played exactly the way his team needed. Well, what's he done wrong, boys? He's not Uzi I. He's not going to 1v9 the games. He shouldn't in this team. It'd be stupid to try that style.
Yeah, I don't think he's been making many mistakes. I feel like he's outputting good damage when he actually needs to output damage. Yeah. I would like to know what his damage per minute and those types of stats are based on how he's playing, because he doesn't have the most kills in the league. I think that's one of the criticisms that people have had of him, is they're like, oh, but when Reckless had the lowest Desi, he also had insane amounts of kills.
Yeah. Sometimes the most. Yeah, true.
Yeah, sometimes the most in the entire league. But I would just like to see how much damage he's actually doing, because I care way more about that than kills. Kills are whatever. Are you last hitting them? The champions that he's playing. He played 3 games of Jhin. He played 3 games of Jhin. He played a bunch of Aphelios instead of Jinx. So other people are playing the Jinx side.
Yeah. He didn't abuse it.
Yeah. One of the strengths of Fnatic is that they were more comfortable, they were comfortable playing the Aphelios side. So they'll play the Aphelios into the Jinx and just be okay with that trade. Or they'll have Jinx banned and they'll just play Aphelios. They're not banking their strategies on only playing Jinx, which is obviously going to super inflate your kill score because of obviously how Jinx functions in a team fight. Jinx is the type of champion, you kill one, you kill them all. So when I'm watching Upset, I don't really see how people rationalize that he's not the best AD carry. I know that that's a take that I've seen. I've been seeing takes oh, Neon's the best AD carry because Neon plays to win, whereas
because of the recency bias of those couple of games. Come on, boys, how are we doing that?
Yeah,
he's good, but he's not the best. Come on, the best.
Yeah, I could go as far as...
Isn't that what I just said earlier? The point is Neon has to do that. If he actually tried to play Upset and Reckless do, he'd just lose the game, wouldn't he? He wouldn't get to the team fight to win it. Want to see more cool, funny, interesting clips based on topics from my content? Well, subscribe to this channel then, or, be a pleb and don't.